Okay, this tutorial is for Daniel Big D out there in Manchester, UK, because I'm such a bloody helpful chap. Daniel posted this still on a Facebook group and wants to try and grade it like this kind of grade from the movie Her. So I thought I'd have a bash at it because I ain't got any friends and like, you know, I ain't got nothing better to do in my life. So so anyway, so that's where I got to with it. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty decent. Obviously it's a different location, lighting, etc., camera, so it's never going to be identical. I'm going to jump over here. I made a copy of the clip and I'm going to show you how I did it very quickly. I'm not going to go into massive detail. I'm just going to run through the steps I took. So the first thing I noticed is the background has got this kind of greeny, bluey kind of vibe to it, and then the skin tones are kind of warm, but they're almost towards the pinkish almost side a little bit, and then obviously this jacket's really saturated as well. So the first thing I did was I went into where are we, effect controls, and I added a Magic Bullet film, and then I went through the stocks because I wanted to try and get that bluish greenish background type look, and I know Magic Bullet film has stocks that can achieve that. So it's on flat because he shot it in Sign D on the GH5, and then I went through the stocks and I ended up with this Fujifilm 64D negative stock and a Fujifilm 3510 print stock. So if I turn that on and you see there, go back to that image, you're getting fairly close to that look here, to that look here. So then the rest of it's done in Lumetri. So we go to basic correction first, and so what I've done here, I've changed the temperature ever so slightly, made it a little bit warmer. I've took the exposure up ever so slightly. I've boosted the highlights, and this is really to accentuate the shadow and the highlight side of a face. Whites also have taken up, dropped the shadows and the blacks down a bit to give it a bit more punch. But obviously her skin is still way too cold. In creative, I don't think I did anything in creative. No, I didn't. In curves, I've gone to the red channel only, and in the sort of shadow to mid-tone regions I've boosted the red, so you can see that makes quite a bit of an impact there. It's warmed the skin up ever so slightly and it's taken the jacket up ever so slightly, but it's not enough. So what I've done also is in hue saturation curve there, I've boosted the reds here, and I also kind of felt there was a little bit of yellow in the skin here, so I've boosted the yellows up there as well ever so slightly. So that's what I did in curves. I'll just hold on that so you can see that. And then in color wheels, turn that on. I felt in the shadows there was like here there's a little bit of greeny blue, so that's what I've done there. It's kind of midway between green and blue in the shadows. Same on the highlights. And then in the midtones, to get a skin, turn it off again, turn it on, to get a skin sort of warmer. I think that skin is actually fairly close to this skin here. It's pretty decent. So yeah, midtones more towards the red, but leaning towards the purple, not over towards the yellow. Shadows, like I say, greeny blue, same with the highlights. So that's that. And then HSL secondary was where I wanted to pinpoint the jacket, so turn that on. You can see there's quite a difference there with the jacket. So all I've done there is set my color using the picker here, and if we go to color gray, it was being a little bit tricky, and this is probably where the resolve is better for this kind of work, but it was a little bit tricky to not get the skin no matter what I did with the different, you know, with hue, saturation, luma. It was very difficult to just get the jacket, and not because the more I got of the jacket, the more I got of the skin. So I had to make a bit of a compromise there ever so slightly. But what I did in there, I just obviously denoised it a little bit, add a little bit of blur, got it as good as I can get it. I mean, if I spent more time on it, I could probably get it more, but obviously, you know, Daniel, me old mate, I'm not going to spend all day on this because I have actually got plans to go out. So yeah, anyway, excuse me. for some reason in Premiere Pro 2017, these I did a Google search. These labels are actually wrong. That should be saturation there, which I've boosted slightly. I just played around with these faders until I got it looking where I wanted it, essentially. So if we turn the color grey off, then turn HSL secondary off, and then back on. This was the trickiest part. I couldn't get the red exactly the same as that red, but I mean, it's probably something you could do, like I say, better in Resolve. But like I said a second ago, I haven't got all day to play with this. So, but yeah, so basically we turn it off, everything off, and then everything back on. So it's a combination of one film stock from Magic Bullet. If I turn off Lumetri, so that's giving me that initial bluey kind of look, and then everything else is a combination of the various tools in Lumetri, which I've just ran through. So yeah, I'm not gonna waffle on anymore. That's how I did it. Obviously, you can pause this video at each step to look at exactly where each point is, sort of for color wheels or HSL or whatever. You can pause this video and look at each of the different settings and replicate it if you want to, or obviously, you know, start from scratch and make your own. So that's the film, that's before, that's after. For sort of 15-20 minutes work, I don't think it's a bad grade. It's not absolutely bang on, but it'll do. Anyway, it's Sunday, I'm going to the beach. Bye bye.